Today, my mom and I are going to be making my great-grandma's recipe of potato, cheese, and onion pierogies. Let's get started by going over our ingredients and our equipment.
Here are the equipment.
1 wet ingredient measuring cup, a cutting board, a small rolling pin, a big rolling pin, 1 teaspoon, 1 tablespoon, a knife, a potato peeler, a cookie cutter, that's the circle shape, and 1 cup for dry ingredients. You will also need a big pot to boil the potatoes, 2 mixing bowls, a frying pan, or medium frying pan, potato masher, and a tray and some cloths.
We're going to start with the ingredients that make up the dough.
4 plus cups of flour, and the plus means that you might need to use a little extra. 2 plus teaspoons of salt, 4 eggs, 1 tablespoon of oil.
Next are the ingredients for the filling.
1 pound of white American cheese, 10 potatoes,
And these are russet potatoes.
2 sticks of butter, and 3 onions.
We'll use some of the butter in the filling and then some at the end when we're going to fry up the pierogies with some extra onions.
We're going to start by peeling the 10 potatoes and then cutting them up into large cubes. We're going to fill the pot with cold water so it covers the potatoes. We're going to put the cover on the pot and bring the water to a boil. In a few minutes, you will notice that your water is boiling and you can remove the lid. Turn your potatoes down to medium-high and let them cook until they are soft. Finally, dice 1 onion. Cut up 1 stick of butter into smaller pieces. Turn your frying pan onto medium-low. Then put your onions and butter into the frying pan. Your onions will saute, but not brown. Then stir your onions periodically and let them continue to saute. While the potatoes and onions are cooking, we will make our dough.
We're going to begin by scrambling our 4 eggs with 1.5 cups of water.
Now pour your 1 tablespoon of oil into the bowl. Now add 2 teaspoons of salt. Now add 4 cups of flour.
We're going to knead the flour and the liquid mix together until the dough comes together. And then we're going to add additional flour as the dough starts to form. We want it to continue to add flour so the dough is no longer sticky. So right now our dough is still very sticky. You can see it's sticky on my hand. So I'm just gonna add some flour to that. And you can see as the flour starts to absorb some water, it starts to get a little less sticky on my hand. And we're just gonna continue to do that onto our dough. We need our dough so that it doesn't stick to our hands any longer.
Now, knead the dough. Now move the dough onto your counter and finish kneading it. Cover your dough with a towel to let it rest. When your potatoes are soft, turn them off and drain them. After the potatoes are drained, put them into a big mixing bowl. When your butter is melted and your onions are sauteed, you can put them in and mix them with the potatoes. We mash the onions into the potatoes.
Now you can start tearing cheese into the potatoes.
Oh, Dad! After the cheese is mixed in, add some salt to taste. While your potatoes cool completely, leave your dough to rest.
Now it's time for lunch.
So we're gonna roll out the dough. And stretch it a little bit. Remember to use flour so it doesn't stick to the rolling pin or to your counter. You need to get it nice and big as you can make it. gonna put some flour on the cookie cutter and just poke as many holes as you can in the dough. Then you're gonna roll them out a little bit to make them a little bit bigger. And you're gonna do that to all of them. So now that we've rolled them out, we're gonna stuff a few of them. So we're gonna get our filling, put it in there, maybe on one side, or just in the middle. You wanna get the perfect amount of filling in each one, so try to make them all the same. We're gonna start by putting a little water around the edge to make it stick, and then we're gonna fold it in half and then crimp it a little around the edges where we folded it. Then you can put it on your tray with your cloth on it. So let's keep going. And then we're going to do the same thing for all of them. So a trick is to make sure some of them are not overlapping, because we don't want them to stick together before we cook them. So we finished now, and we made 103 pierogies. We used all the dough, including the scraps that were left when we cut it into circles, but there was still a little bit of filling left. So first we're gonna boil them, and then we're gonna butter them. So if you have some that you wanna save for another occasion or anything, you can boil those too and butter them, and then just put them in some plastic containers and then put them in the freezer for later. So we're gonna put them in now. When you boil them, you know they're ready because they rise to the top. So it's about 2 minutes. We boil them in small batches so they don't get stuck together. In here, we melted some butter. Well, to butter the ones that are done boiling. We're only buttering them here. We're not browning them. We need them buttered just to keep them separate in the containers that we put them in. You might need to keep adding more butter to your pan when you add more pierogies. And you need to flip your pierogies so that each side gets buttered. Today we're going to eat the pierogies, so we're just heating them up on a medium-sized pan on about medium heat, and we don't need to re-butter them because we already buttered them yesterday, so we don't need to do it again. And so here we have the caramelized onions, and we're just going to eat the pierogies with our caramelized onions here. And we want to get them just a little bit more brown, and so they're a little bit crunchy on the outside, but still a little bit soft on the inside.
Let's try it.
Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time we upload a new video, and comment to let us know what you want to see us make next.